I'm here with Drew Cutkomp and Brian Bourgerie, the co-founders of Uncommon Entrepreneurs, and we are talking about Puerto Rico Blockchain Week. Good to have you guys. This is a big week for Puerto Rico, for blockchain, for crypto. Talk about it.
Yeah, well, thanks for having us. This is going to be the biggest week for blockchain since March 2018 here in Puerto Rico. For any of you like us who were down here for that, it was pretty epic, full week full of different events. It was surreal, right at almost the tail end of the last bull run. And I'm excited for this week because a few years have passed, things have matured, the ecosystem has grown in pretty much every way to become one of the most substantial, holistic, I think, powerhouse ecosystems in the world for blockchain for a number of reasons, which we'll get into, but I'm super excited.
Well, let's just take a second and expand on that, Drew, if you want. Like, why, people ask me all the time, why Puerto Rico? Why Puerto Rico, And it's like, let's tell them, why Puerto Rico?
Yeah, it's a mixture of reasons. Comes down to, obviously, the beautiful weather. It's America, it's the United States, but it's a territory, and because of that, they have their own they have an Act 2022-60 program that has some tax incentives that are making it advantageous for people that trade in capital gains, aka crypto. And as a result from that, it's been a magnet that's just attracted a lot of the top talent in the world that lives here. And as a result, there's just the combination of that on top of it's great minds like to congregate together. And so this week is going to be pretty epic with 5 different conferences and just thousands of people coming down that in this cutting edge industry.
Brian, everybody claims everybody's the new crypto destination, right? I mean, I feel like ever since last year when LA folded on their conference, their COVID fold, and Miami was like, I remember the mayor of Miami tweeting, "Sorry, LA, not really." Like, bring it here. And then the new mayor of New York's like, pay me in crypto, for a month or whatever. But I'm saying, everybody wants to be crypto friendly, right?
Yeah.
And so, what for Puerto Rico? What about Puerto Rico? Beyond just the tax incentives, and obviously a lot of, Drew's point, a lot of people coming here, that creates a climate, right?
Sure.
But why is Puerto Rico building as a destination, right? It's on the rise, if you will, as a destination for this kind of stuff.
Well, so one thing I actually want to hit on that's different than these other places you're mentioning. When you take New York now, or even El Salvador or Miami, you have maybe a governor, a mayor, a leader, a president, someone at the top saying, staking claim, this is what we're going to be. You actually see the opposite in Puerto Rico. It's from the ground up. It's not everyone's coming because someone who has influence said so. It's maybe started small, organic, decentralized, maybe you could say, with maybe some coders here, some investors there, and started to grow from there. And you see people like, hey, this is the place to be within their spheres of influence. You need to come down here. And when you have, as Drew was saying, a lot of high caliber people, which incentives has just thrown fire or gas on the fire. It has accelerated, and we're to the point now, in my opinion, and I have a pretty good view of the ecosystem, that incentives or not, we have a critical mass of a brain trust of some of the top people, not just in crypto, but just in business in general, from investors to builders. We have hodlers like myself. You have traders. You have a little bit of everything, and it's very holistic. And we're just getting to the points, I'd say even in the last year, where it's not just people who move down here from this or the couple random crazies. I mean, we have educational events maybe 2 to 3 times a week, teaching new people, rooms full of new people how to get into blockchain in both English and Spanish, and in multiple languages. So it's getting way more holistic than just hypey this, hypey that, big name influencer, whatever. It's real organic. And when you look in the history of things, especially in crypto with ups and downs and bull markets, bear markets, whatever, FOMO, that's the things that actually last, is the things that actually have a foundation and roots and whatever. So that's something that I want to point out and that I hope that people get out of this blockchain week. It may not be the biggest, fanciest, flashiest party in Miami, but it's going to be substantial. There's still going to be lots of people. You're going to have some of the smartest minds in the entire world, but you're also going to have a culture from the ground up that's really starting to immerse itself and make it a part of their lives on more than just a metaverse level, you could say.
Yeah, and I find being here, you really do experience it, as you guys know, on a day-to-day level in terms of, the interactions, the intellectual vibrance that's going on. Kind of it's intellectual and it's cultural. It all comes together. The Puerto Rican culture, the environment, the infusion, and the pull to bring back the brain trust of Puerto Ricans who left to kind of build and create that. To me is noticeable on a day-to-day basis. And Brian, when Brian says, "Oh, it may not be the biggest party," there'll be some fun parties, no doubt about it. We're in Puerto Rico, but that it's not about is it the most flashy. It really is about is what's going to happen here going to have a unique imprint on what's happening in crypto and blockchain. And I would say yes, because of the caliber of people that are here in this community and will be at Blockchain Week. Am I right?
Yeah, I agree. I see that, and it's just there's a magical thing that's occurring here with all these people coming together and just top projects, and so it's going to be. I mean, it's going to be the place to be, and this industry moves so quick that a week is a month is a year, and so I mean, what's happened is like this is the hottest thing right now that you want to be at, and it's only growing here.
Yeah, and let's talk for a minute about Puerto Rico. I mean, there's been a long, Puerto Rico, has been screwed over by the United States government from day one in many ways. And, a lot of people outside of Puerto Rico, you hear the talk about Puerto Rico, being a state, when you're here, you realize it's pretty divided. Like half Puerto Rico's like, we don't want that. Like, we don't trust you. But how does this affect, because I do think there's a push within a lot of people here in the crypto community. On the outside, it could be like the gringos are coming in, but a real push to try to create a connection and value to the Puerto Rican community as a whole here and involving them in the crypto space, creating a greater sense of wealth and distribution and empowerment, for people who don't have it, right? I mean, that's a big part of the push for a lot of people and for Puerto Rico Blockchain Week.
Yeah,
so
and
we
that's
have an organization.
Go for it.
We have an organization, Uncommon Entrepreneurs, that we started 2 years ago to unify and bridge that gap of creating a relationship between the local Puerto Ricans and those that had moved down here, with the intention that it's more of a mindset than it is anything. It's let's combine together, let's use our talents, and let's do something. We can educate. I mean, both sides have, chips to bring to the table that they can show, and I think we're in a world that's transforming before our eyes with this technology that's lightning fast changing the world and the metaverse around us. And so if we try to slow down and point fingers, you already missed everything. So we're just trying to create unity and through that, and adding on Brian, what you were just saying.
But but Brian, to that point, right, at the same time, there often is an inherent skepticism or distrust. The people from the mainland are coming in, they're bringing in money, and it's all going to benefit them, and the Puerto Rican community becomes a byproduct. I know individually, talking to people who have a commitment. Roundtable, our company, has a commitment to making connection and a difference with the Puerto Rican community and involving them actively in this space in a way that benefits individuals and the community as a whole. I guess I'm saying, as it comes to Blockchain Week, that's a part of this message, right? That's a part of what Blockchain Week wants to do, is empower Puerto Rico as well.
Yeah, and that's the other thing too. Like, sometimes you have a Blockchain Week and the whole week is actually managed by one entity or one group. This is really a decentralized thing. I've been trying to help coordinate things, but I by no means control anything besides our own stuff. It's just trying to make sure not too many toes are stepped on. But that's one of the beauties of it, because in this manner, we've been able to have projects and unique things that no one even knew existed coming from all parts of the island that are being set up. No one has to ask permission from anyone, quite frankly. It's like, hey, we're all in this together. And guess what? We love blockchain. We like learning. We like being around great people. And we all think Puerto Rico is awesome and the place to be. So you should all come. And you're going to see that. So from Monday to Saturday, even Sunday, you're going to see events that are going to cater to everyone. You're going to see high-profile crypto elite stuff all the way down to what the heck is blockchain in English and Spanish. You're going to be seeing NFTs. We have hackathons starting this Friday. I just got a text like right before this. We got 2 days now at a university with 5 rooms for 6 hours a day that we can fill up with workshops and lessons and hackathons and anything else that we want to do. Free, open to the public all day long, open to anyone. So like you're going to see a lot, at least a little bit, but maybe a lot of everything. And that's one of the things I really want to drive for people is it's holistic and it's not just one group driving anything because no one has to ask anyone for permission. I mean, that's the world we live in. This is like the decentralized blockchain, even metaverse. Like it doesn't matter where you live. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter what you look like. You don't have to ask permission to do this or cross whatever border because you do everything digitally anyways now. But like that's one of the things that is permeating and represented even in the physical world here in Puerto Rico. Which I think is kind of parallel to the new world that we're all venturing into.
Yeah. Well said. Holistic, organic. It's going to be a really fun, exciting week. It really is. I mean, and as you said, whether it's the biggest conference, it's going to be an impactful one. And size isn't always everything. Quality. Quality, what it's about, how it works. I mean, it's exciting. It really is an exciting and different kind of blockchain week. And I'm hoping a lot more people put their eyes on it. It's good. There's going to be a FOMO after this one. Everyone's going to be like, I want to be at the next one. I want to be at the next one. And look, we're committed as Roundtable to doing that. With our media platform, I know you guys with Uncommon Entrepreneurs are committed to doing that. And it's a big part of what Uncommon Entrepreneurs is, right? Which is really bringing a lot resources that connect. You guys have a deep base of people who come in, not from here, who want to be part of this community on all levels, crypto and non-crypto, thousands who kind of come to your organization. And you also work a lot with, Puerto Rican companies, the Puerto Rican government kind of creating those bridges and helping build that infrastructure. So let's talk for a second about that and your guys' mission with Uncommon Entrepreneurs.
Yeah, and Drew hit on some of that earlier as well, kind of like why we did this. But to be honest, like we didn't expect for Uncommon Entrepreneurs to grow to what it is now. I mean, every Wednesday we have an event in a different part of the island, in different areas. So not only are we having people just within certain regions who would never know each other existed, especially those who are new, meeting each other, we're giving people reasons and a spot that they know. Like, hey, if I drive across the island, like we had a group of people yesterday drive across the entire island 2.5 hours to a different one of our events to meet some people because they loved and valued what they had in their area so much. And they're like, wow, if it's anything like this, it's worth 2.5 hours each way just to go to this event. So in that regard, we're really kind of breaking down barriers, even though we're on an island, but still geographically. Sometimes you get caught in your bubble, you're just with your group of friends, whatever it is. We really give people an opportunity. And to be honest, it's not super hard in the sense because we have so many amazing people here.
Right,
like we're just providing the place and they fill it and make it awesome. So
what sort of give people who don't know, and you say, Brian, you're like, we never expected it to grow. Well, Mark Zuckerberg didn't think Facebook was going to be anything more than a college, than a cool college connection network. Anybody who hasn't seen the video in the 80s, but in 90s, sorry. But Drew, talk a little about sort of the mission and the scope of what Uncommon Entrepreneurs has become, because you really have become kind of a unique resource network in this space.
Yeah, so Brian and I came to the island about 3.5 years ago, 6 months after Maria. It was during those blockchain conferences that really lit this up. And we just really fell in love with the community immediately because of kind of the unique structures around incentives in Puerto Rico, it's brought these unique people down here. Now, when people relocate halfway around the world to an island in the Caribbean, you don't know anybody, right? And so we're social creatures. You had a network where you came from, but you're coming down here and you're starting fresh in that sense. And so what we went out to do is, it just started as a meetup, and we just threw out, a message saying, come out if you want to connect with like-minded, entrepreneurial, innovative, investor type people. And, we've just consistently had, hundreds of people a month come to the events. And so I think it's really, it's a multiple factors, but, like-minded people, you understand the power of like one introduction can change your life if you're meeting the right type of people, and the caliber of individuals, like, not to throw out names of who showed up last night, but the #1 business podcast in the world was present. And one of the #1 crypto podcasters, gave a presentation. And like, it's just the people, it's kind of, you pinch yourself that you're around this. It's like, usually you go to a conference, or you pay some time to get, and what you find is that we're all a community down here, and we've all have, like, there's a barrier to entry to come to Puerto Rico in some senses, because you've had to succeed at something to justify moving and all of that. And so as a result, people that are high achievers and 1%ers in their industries are just congregated. And so as a result, it's just provided this mix. And so that, with the integration with the locals that have a lot of value to offer, it just provides this unique setting where the opportunities that you hear about, and the ways that you hear people make money, and the ways that people are helping and giving back, it's just such a deep community. And it's nothing like, you have to come, you have to taste it, you have to come down to this blockchain where you can feel it. It's not something you can just go to. You were at an event, Rob, you know what we're saying.
Yeah, and again, just quickly for people who don't know, but you guys are way past the meetup at this point. I mean, you started there. You're a whole organization with thousands of people that, are built into your network now, all of whom are doing what you're talking about: entrepreneurs, innovators, companies, institutions, even, like, to tie all these resources together, right? Create like an aggregate empowerment.
Yeah, and the things that come from that, like, that again weren't initially in our roadmap, but like mentorship. I still have it ingrained in my brain. 2 years ago in Old San Juan, we did this really awesome event. We partnered with the Chamber of Commerce and some other groups, and it was a really good mix of local businesses that have been around for decades, to young college students, to new people to the island. And I remember looking over at this table, and there's this, I think she might have been like a freshman in college, this young girl, timid, because there's a lot of high caliber people around. Literally sitting next to her at the next table is a billionaire, financial industry, whatever person. And like, one, they would never even be in the same area in most cases. Two, I just walked over and I'm like, hey, you should meet so-and-so, and they just started talking, like a connection that probably would never have happened ever. And one thing that makes that possible is what I found just as a trend, and I think I can rightfully say that without having talked and met with thousands of people who've come here and moved and things, is the type of person who comes here overwhelmingly are open-minded. They want to share. They want to give back. They want to mentor. They want to help. Like, they want to do things. They want to invest. They want to spend money. They want to like make the place they just moved the best place possible for their families and things like that. And overwhelmingly, that's what I find. And it's only every once in a while you find like a jerk, so to speak. But like, it's that the type of person I found who comes here. And then just Puerto Ricans in general are just like the best people, and they're awesome anyway. So like, it's awesome. Look, it's great.
It's look, it's great. It's exciting. I think, one thing, so just wrapping this up, but bringing it back to Blockchain Week, but one thing, Puerto Rico Blockchain Week, one thing I think, that you discover, so many people think, oh, crypto, I can make money, and nothing wrong with that. Absolutely nothing wrong with going, I can make money in the crypto space, in the blockchain space in general, right? But what you discover in this environment is how much about crypto and the blockchain world It's not just about making money. It's about change. It's about making a difference. It's about creating new utilities, new vehicles, new ways for social, economic, even political progress and change. And that's integral into it. It's almost like if you just want to make money, you might, but like that's the vibe to me is here is so much. It's so much more than that, and you can make money at the same time. Like make money and make a difference. They go hand in hand in the crypto space, which is so, to me, awesome and unique.
Yeah, and I want people to come away with that who come to Blockchain Week. Like, if nothing else, I want them to see, like, oh, this isn't hypey. This isn't some seasonal thing. Like, this is legit. This is real. And there's good coming from it. And as you said, you might make money or whatever. Like, to me, that's ancillary. Like, there's so much value just in general in the world that is and will continue to be created, and you can be a part of it.
Yeah, and you focus on the value and you do end up making money. Crazy thing, huh?
Yeah.
Drew Cutkomp, Brian Bourgerie, great to have you both, the co-founders of Uncommon Entrepreneurs, and a big part of the backbone of helping pull together Puerto Rico Blockchain Week and being an integral part of it. You guys have a couple things going on at it. As you said, Brian, it's decentralized. There's a whole lot of different people and players in this. It's going to be an exciting week. And looking forward to having you guys back on during the week to talk about it as it unfolds.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
Yes. Thank you. Appreciate the opportunity.
Absolutely.